Um, 0000000. New beginnings, right? New beginnings. I hope you guys are doing okay. Um, I want to talk about something. Um, I hope you guys can hear me. I have the light a little bit dark in here. Um, there's a reason why I have a candle. Hold on, see. I don't know why it's so blurry in here. Hold on. Okay, it's very blurry. Can you guys see me now? Whoo, that was too much light. You guys, I've been sleeping all day. Okay, trying to get rest. Okay. Um, Somebody said, "Did you see the video of Trinity's mom and Victor celebrating tonight?" No, I did not. Um, I already told you guys that Trinity's mother, Raven, and her stepfather were involved in Trinity's disappearance. Okay. I don't like how this phone is. It looks blurry. Um, I have two phones right now, but this one looks blurry the way it looks. But I hope everybody's doing well. No, I did not hear about them out partying and celebrating tonight. What are they celebrating? Okay. There's Trinity that is missing. So what are they celebrating? I mean, they're celebrating their time going out tonight before their arrest because they both will be arrested. Okay. All right. So they can celebrate all they want, but they both will be arrested and they both will be held accountable. Okay. For what they have done. So I want to get into this, you guys. Um, I want to talk about this and then I wanted to do something different. And I wanted to use the sand and the shells and the bones and do a little something different. Okay. Um, I've done reads before on my lives, but in a different way. Okay, the old way. But I want to talk about um, Atlas. Okay, who was Atlas and the descendants of Atlas? Many of you guys know, may have known or not known your life on this in this place, this civilization that was very highly civilized. Um, Water. It was above water. Um, but there was the artifacts of this place that exists and still exists today um, is under the body of water. Okay. Now they said that happened, but it wasn't the flood. That looks funny. This video kind of looks funny because of the coloring, the lighting on this phone. But I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. And I want to thank my friend uh, who has helped me make this story um, and said my words. And she perfectly written the words earlier today about the place that I once lived in one of my past lives, and some of you guys have lived here too. This place was known as Atlantis. Okay, um, Atlantis was a beautiful place. And I see when I go into Atlantis, it's this big, um, it's like a big corridor, right? And it has this gold trim on each side, okay? Um, and you have these people that are singing, and it's like, okay, Atlantis, the people that live in Atlanteans or the Atlantis, um, the they were women. They were not men. Okay. There was men there. There was children there, but there was women that holded the power of Atlantis. And the person that was the spiritual leader, spiritual advisor, um, she was the Kakista, was Atlas. Okay. And there was a whole bunch of um, women that would, which some of you guys would call high priestess. Okay. Were born there. They learned there. Um, it was very majestic. Um, there was things that was forbidden to be known by others. Okay, guys. All right, so let's get into this. Okay, this phone is so blurry. I don't like it, but it is what it is. So, message from Atlas. One warm day in July, my conquise shared a story with me. Conquise is my bloodline. My great grandmother, my grandmothers that came before me. So they shared a story with me and told me to never to forget it. This is an ancestral message, a message for the children and the descendants of a place that once exists and still exists in spirit. Okay. The place was called Atlas, and her name was Atlas. She was the land of mystical towers, ancient wisdom, and profound magic. She was ruled by a queen, chief, a seer, whose true name was Atlas. Of her today by other names, Atlantis, the Atlanteans, but that is not her true name. Her true name is Atlas. Atlas spoke to me and said, "Awaken, Atlanteans, awaken my people. I am still here. Many do not know my true name nor my true nature, but through the memories of the ancient civilization, through ancient wisdom, knowledge, and power, I speak to you. I love my people dearly. I was called Atlas because I understood the waters, the currents, the tides of this life itself. She was a healer for many years. She was very ancient, and she taught her people how to heal. She called them her children and her children's children. She showed them a spiral, saying, "My dear, you are truly my last daughter." Few knew Atlas, about Atlas, her daughters, her many daughters. There was a great war I had to fight, Atlas says. Yet my people are still here. I am still here in my name. You will hear my name mentioned many times in your books, in your languages, in your ways. My spirit is always here, my Atlanteans. She continues to say, "Many of you will remember me, many will not. But the love that I held, the courage I had, the ancient magic I carried to heal my people, it lives in you and it lives on you. Though my cities were though my cities were conquered, I was never conquered in spirit. I lived through many of you. I speak to you in your dreams. You remember a place not so far, yet not so far, not so near and not so far. A place you long for, a place you attach in your memories, sketched in your memories, sketched in your DNA. You are my children. You are living, you are the living keepers of knowledge who have an awakening to remember. So you need to remember. You are the knowledge and you are the keepers. She told her story to me. She told me about her society. She was run by women. They were all women. The healers, the keeper, the sacred wisdom, the keepers of the sacred wisdom. They understood the currents, the laws, the natures, the power, the spiral, a force of creation itself. We fight, Atlas says. She said, a place of women with knowledge, wisdom, and magic and light. The light you can see in their eyes, the magic you can feel on their hands, the magic you can feel in their vibration, the wisdom that you can hear them speak, the knowledge you can understand, the knowledge you can retain and keep. So powerful that others wanted this power, not to heal, but to harm. That is why it is remained sacred, never meant to be amused. Never meant to be amused. This is the message from Atlas. The descendants of Atlas are still here. There's a place that you know that is not far. And this place is Atlas. Okay. I want to talk about Atlas. Atlas is she is a vibration. She is you can sense her around you. You can feel her around you. She is in your DNA. Um, a lot of you guys have this wisdom. You were taught this wisdom. Atlantis ruled over the place that what we would call Atlantis. Okay. She is Atlas. So when you think of Atlas, you know what Atlas stands for, right? Her name is still spoken in foreign lands. Her name is spoken in foreign lands and in lands near and far. Okay. Um, she told me to tell you guys, her children the Atlantean children, that she's always around. Um, and don't forget who you came from, the wisdom. It's sacred wisdom. And she also says that these light codes, not all these light codes are supposed to be shared, okay? Um, the attack that came for her was because of this, okay? And she put up a good fight, and many survived. And the ones that have survived, sorry you guys, that's Storm. The ones that have survived are the children of Atlantean, and Atlas. Okay, you guys. Um, Atlantis was on ground. Okay, it wasn't just in the water. It went underwater, but it was land. Okay, she had many lands. Okay, she conquered many lands. Okay, they wanted her gone because of the knowledge, and they could never beat her. Okay, they can never beat her. This would be my part one of Atlantis and Atlas. I'm going to tell you more of her story. So this would be my part one, and then we'll get into it more of what really happened to her because she's speaking. She had a high council. The high council were all women. They were all seers. One of my friends was actually on the high council as a seer. I also was on the high council as a seer. I had a past life there. So I'm going to tell you her story, but I want to reference one more time. Her name was Atlas, okay? And the place that she conquered and that she ruled, and she didn't just conquer it, that was her birthplace and her birthright, okay? That is what you guys would call today uh, Atlanteans, but it's Atlas. Okay, you guys? All right, so this would be my part one, and I will come back with a part two. She just wants to offer a little mention that they're, the women were the ones that had control over Atlas and the place called Atlantia. Okay, it was women. All right, there was men there, there was children, but the ones, the seers, the high priestesses, they were all women. They were all sisters. Um, and I met one of my sisters that I spent the past life in Atlantis with. I can even picture how it looked. Okay, it was a beautiful place. So I will come back with a part two, um, and tell you more about Atlas's story. Okay, and what happens to Atlas. Um, because there's so many things that took place with Atlas. Um, and why did they want to take her lands? Okay, why did they want to kill her people off? Okay, which they didn't. Okay, we're still here. Okay, a lot of it had to do with the ancient knowledge. She was very powerful. Um, her the knowledge she had, the wisdom, and she was trying to do right by it. Okay, and there was people that were evil that wanted to take the power away from her, not just the power away from her. They wanted to learn these gifts and these powers, right? But they weren't going to use it for good reasons, and she knew that. Okay, so they these people had to be destroyed, just like she had to be destroyed. Okay, so she did put up a fight. Okay, so this will be my part one on my beautiful Atlas and my Atlantean sisters that are out there. I want you to comment below. The ones that remember, the ones that hold the light codes, the ones that have the DNA that have awakening or already was awakening to who they were. If you have a memory of that spiral, comment below. Okay, you guys. So this is my part one. Okay. And I will be back with a part two and probably a part three. Okay. Um, and this is Patton. The stories I'm telling you, these are real stories. These are not fictional. Um, these are real stories. Okay, these are real stories about my ancestors. Okay, Kakistas. Okay, Kakistas. Kakistas were named chiefs. They were women chiefs. Okay, and the woman chief, if you want to look at her as a woman chief, her main thing was she was the healer. She was when you go to many communities, you have a person you go to for healing, right? But she wasn't just the chief of the Atlanteans. Okay, she was far more complex, diverse. She was the chief. She was the healer. Okay, she taught the women has how to heal, um, and she had magical, mystical powers, powers that they will be talking about from ages to ages to come. Okay, and there's places that are named after Atlas. Okay, you guys. All right, thank you so much. This is Jennifer Felix Readings. This is my part one, and I will come back with the part two. Okay. Um, if you want to come back on, I have a quick video I want to do, and I need to get this video out. It's for Libras, okay? Because I'm being drawn to Libras, and this is a specific message, and this is for somebody, and they need to get this message. Okay, you guys? All right, thank you. And thank you, my brothers and sisters, my Atlantean brothers and sisters. If you remember any lives and Atlantia. Um, Comment below what you remember the most. Um, there's a couple things that I remember. One of the things that I remember is how beautiful the place was. The water. I remember and being in the water, collecting my shells, my seashells that I would use for ceremonies, and also wear my seashells. Um, and there's other things. My other sisters, we were really like sisters. We weren't like we weren't jealous of each other. We were all learning, and we all loved each other. Okay. Hey, we all loved each other in Atlantis. Um, and when we got separated from Atlantis, we knew we were out there, but we were in different places. And when we come across our Atlantean sisters that were the healers of the Atlantean people and healers of many people, not just the Atlanteans, but other civilizations, um, you remember. Okay, you remember. All right. So I will do this will be my part one, and I will come back with my part two. Okay. But I'm coming back on with a read I want to do, and I got to get this read out um, for my Libras. Okay, my Libras. I've been seeing something with Libras. Um, it's interesting because Atlas, she ruled so many lands, beautiful lands. And it was, I think it was Pluto talked about her civilization, but Pluto didn't tell the whole truth about her civilization, because her whole civilization, she had many civilizations, um, many civilizations. Um, and there is written accounts way past Pluto's accounts, she says. Okay. So I will be back on, you guys. Hey, Christopher. Hey, Christian. So I will be back on, and I want to do a read for Libras because this read has to come out for Libras. Um, Somebody said, I want to just answer your question. Somebody said, do you see the video of Trinity's mom and Victor out celebrating? Victor will be arrested, and so will Raven. Okay. Victor and Raven, Trinity's mother and stepfather, will meet their justice. Okay. They will be getting arrested um, because of what they have participated in and what they know. Storm, about what they did to Trinity. Okay, you guys? All right. So I was just answering somebody's question. Thank you, Christopher, for joining. So this was my story about my Atlanteans um, and Atlas. Okay. Um, I will do series on this when I get a chance, and talk more and more about her life, um, how beautiful she was, how kind she was, um, and how the reason why she took in this knowledge is because this knowledge was only sacred with the women. The men were not supposed to have this knowledge, she says. Okay. All right. I will do more videos on this. You guys ever experience for the Galactic Federation? Any of you guys that know that you were Atlantean? It's very interesting because there is no men that came from uh, Atlantis that were healers. They were all females. Okay. So if there's a man that says they come from Atlantis and they were a healer, they was not a healer. Okay. They were all women. Okay. So I will be doing more videos on this. Okay. There's also Atlantean language. Okay. And we'll get more depth into that, um, where you can still probably hear the Atlantean language, and whose dialect you can hear it in. Um, so this is my part one. Okay. So thank you guys so much for joining me. And to my Lantian sisters, my Lantians, I love you guys. I love all you guys. But I will be back on. I want to do a quick video on Libra because I feel like this is an urgency message. So I will be back on you guys. All right. Thank you guys. Bye. Ashe.